We are back with another week of BBN News.
This week on Beaver News, we have Delaney France talking about schedule planning for next year.
Thaddeus Butler will be asking SCHS students about their spring break plans.
Sage will be giving us highlights of the previous sports seasons, and Jimena will be forecasting our weekend weather.
As we head into the last 9 weeks of school, Delaney shares with us the importance of planning for next year.
Just like adults, students feel more confident and secure when their daily activities and classes are predictable and familiar. Planning your schedule ahead of time, maybe even your freshman year, can help you get all the required classes under your belt. There are many classes that you can take in order to move forward in your future. Planning your classes ahead of time can not only help you stay organized, but it can also help your counselors and administration. It can also help you identify your goals and helps you decide clearly on what career you would want to pursue. We asked Mr. Byer what are some things that students should be asking when planning their schedules, and who should students go to when planning their schedules to help them pursue their goals.
Well, I think they need to be considering, what they're wanting to do in the future. They should be asking what classes they need to take. Some of their classes might be involved with CTE pathways, and trying to figure out what classes might align with that. But I think mainly just what they are wanting to do in the future and what classes they need to take that would help them get into college or whatnot in that area that they're wanting to go into. Most definitely Mrs. Price. She's been our counselor. She's probably the number one person to talk to about that. But you also have your advisor that you could go to and talk to about planning your schedule out and what class you need. Another thing, they can come talk to me or Mr. Dirks, but I think one of the big things they need to talk to is their parents. Sit down at home and talk with your parents about what you're wanting to do and, classes you may need to take, and, let them know, kind of get them involved with what you're doing a little bit. I think that's a good conversation starter at home as well.
They should go to their parents. They should go to their advisor, their Beaver Pride advisor. They should talk to a teacher, their counselor. That's their job. Mr. Byer, Mr. Dirks, any adult. Don't go to your peers because when you plan your schedule and you are simply trying to take classes that your friends are in, that is not the best case scenario.
Finally, we asked what are some new classes that are getting introduced to the school, and if students have some free time, what are some classes they could take?
Over the last few years, we've introduced quite a few new classes. I don't know of any this upcoming year that we're introducing other than the AP English options for sophomore and junior students. So other than that, I don't know of any that we're adding this year. I feel like we had a burst there for a while with a lot of new things. So
I think one of the coolest ones right now is our graphic design class that Mrs. Miles is teaching. She is, and her and Mrs. Duff actually are both team teaching it right now, and it's just cool. They're designing t-shirts, they're designing posters, printing t-shirts, making stuff for the community. So that's something that we're really wanting to grow and take it to the next level where they have like maybe their own business within the class there, where they can make stuff and sell stuff within the school or the community. Mr. Finch has a new website and design class. There's only a few kids that have taken it this year, but they're creating our social media posts and stuff like that for sports and things like that. So I think that's kind of another cool one. Those are a couple new ones. Next year we're hoping to maybe add automotive if it all works out, to provide another class in that field. But yeah, we're always open and looking. I'm hoping to add a few more business classes next year with Mr. Finch. But it all kind of depends on what teachers we get hired, what positions we fill, and everything like that kind of determines what we have to offer. So
any of our elective classes are great. We have such a variety. Our class choices, that burst of additional classes I was talking about, was based off of student interest and career interest. So, there's so many things to try. Absolutely. Try music, try art, try drafting, get in the wood shop and see if that's your thing. Try welding, ag, sewing, BBN, right? There are so many options. I'm forgetting a jillion of them. But make sure you know what class you need to take first. So if an area interests you, go talk to Miss Miles if you're interested in digital media and say, what do I need to take first so that I can be a part of this? Our business classes, our entrepreneurship, I'm forgetting so many. That we have such a neat opportunity, a lot of really neat classes for a small school, I think.
Oh man, I'd recommend the two I just mentioned. The graphic media or the graphic design and the website media design class. Those classes are pretty cool. I think there's a lot of opportunity in those fields right now. Especially in web page design for jobs, and if it's something that interests kids, I think they should definitely take it. But I'd say pretty much anything you're interested in, or maybe even going outside your comfort zone and see if there's a class that you want to take that you might not be interested in, but maybe you are. I don't know. But also, one thing I personally always think I wish I would have done is take a personal finance or more business classes when I was in high school. So I took one in college that really woke me up to, oh man, I probably better be doing this with my finances or budget or whatever else. And I don't think a lot of kids get that information, especially from home. So that's one thing I would personally recommend for every student to take is, maybe an extra business or finance class while they're in high school. Students
should be thinking, in my mind, a couple things. They should be thinking, what classes do I need to take to graduate? What classes or pathways am I looking at as a possible future career? If you don't know what that is, what that might be, try a variety of things. But also, I feel like one of the most important pieces as you look at a schedule and you plan ahead is to plan for classes that aren't just, focused solely on the academic piece, but also those that give you, help create hobbies, lifelong hobbies, or just places that fill your cup too.
Thank you, Mr. Breyer, for helping us students get a clearer path on the future. And for BBN, I'm Delaney France.
Thanks, Delaney. Make sure to get your pre-enrollment form filled out and signed.
Thad went out on the street to ask some students and staff of SCHS what they are planning to do next week for spring break.
Spring break is here. With the whole week off of school, there's a lot you can do. So I decided to ask around to see what people are doing with their spring break.
I'm cleaning my room.
I'm working at the feedlot High Choice with my friend Cesar Garcia.
For spring break, I'm planning on going on a trip with my family to Colorado.
For spring break, I'm planning to go visit some family up in Nebraska and then come home and clean out my garage. So nothing exciting.
For spring break, I'm going to Wichita. For fun, I'm going to go shopping.
So, for spring break, I will probably be doing a lot of homework. We are going to Colorado to go skiing in the mountains.
I am Jonna Sowers, and I will be dog sitting and doing track workouts.
For spring break, I am going skiing. I'm not skiing, my kids are.
So for spring break, I actually plan to get married.
I'll probably just doing the most Mexican thing and just work.
I'm going to hang out with Briley and go to Buc-ee's. I'm going to have to hang out with Giselle because she told me to, and we're going to go to Buc-ee's.
For spring break, I'm going skiing with my church, and then my sister's picking me up, and we're going skiing some more.
So for spring break, I'm actually planning to do a lot. I'm planning to go to Washington, D.C. actually to talk to the president real fast, so that's going to be real great. And I'm going to sign a couple peace treaties and, maybe solve world hunger, bring it back, go back in time, do some stuff. That it's kind of simple stuff. I've done it before, and, it's just kind of rudimentary at this point. And then probably play Dungeons and Dragons or something, but yeah.
Sounds like an interesting week. That's all for now. See you guys on the 24th. For BBN News, I'm Thaddeus Butler. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Thad. Those sound like some pretty fun plans.
With winter sports wrapping up, we turn it over to Sage to give us some season highlights.
Beaver basketball season is wrapped up after both teams dropped their first-round sub-state games. I sat down with players from both teams to get some insight on how the season unfolded for them.
It was good. I had a lot of fun. It was just a great group of guys, and going to practice every day was always exciting.
Losing in a win-or-go-home situation can be very difficult, but it's a part of the sport.
The atmosphere is fun. I love playing in games like that and in places where it's just exciting and a lot of energy in the building. And then the outcome, I never expected that to happen. We were up, and then in my mind I was already at practice the next day, and then I saw the lead start going away, and it was just really sad.
The end of the season allows players to take a step back and reflect on the season as a whole.
I wanted to be obviously varsity, and that one was pretty easy. And yeah, I think that was my goal. I wanted to hit a 3 in a game, and I did that, so that was cool.
As one season finishes, players can look forward to the next year and be better prepared for what's to come.
I think I could become a lot better ball handler and shooter and stuff.
Every season gives players something to take away and remember for years to come.
The Sterling tournament for sure. Just that group of guys hanging out in the hotel, it was just fun.
Both the boys and girls had successful seasons, with multiple league wins and improving play as the season progressed. Now we look forward to spring sports as the year wraps up. For BBN, I'm Sage Steckline.
Thank you, Sage. Good job to the Beaver basketball and wrestling on a great season.
Jimena will be giving us the report on our spring break weather.
Looks like temperatures are going up this weekend. Today, the high will be 60 with a low of 37. Saturday will be a high of 63 and a low of 32. On Sunday, temperatures will drop a bit, with the high being 56 and a low of 27. Looks like spring break is going to be chilly, with the average high being in the 50s and the average low being in the 20s. Have a great break, Beavers, and for BBN Weekly News, I'm Jimena Garcia.
Thank you, Jimena.
Have a great spring break and stay safe. For BBN, I'm Shasta Hope.
And I'm Hannah Farrell.